welcome to my channel. My name is Angela and this is My Precious Yarnery. So today I'm going to explain to you how to measure for the sweater that I'm going to do a tutorial on. So, I don't do it the traditional way. I don't do anything the traditional way. Let's get that straight. And we're just winging it around here. And it's my first sweater I ever made. Well, this is actually the second sweater. There's two different ones. This one we're doing first. So this one is when the stripes go down, up and down, as you can see. So how I measure for this is very simple. I start at the shoulder, and I have it on Precious Jen. So I start at the shoulder, and remember the trim will be probably about a good 2 inches. So I start at the shoulder, and I probably measure it to my hip right there. Do you see that? Right there. This camera. So I make a chain that long. I count the chains because we're going to have to make there's 3 panels on this. Right. So count the chain, you make it to there. Got it? Each sweater will be different, depends if you want it longer, shorter. My aunt's, I made it to here, so it could just go to here on her. But this one's going to go probably to here. So it'll be this long. See how long? Okay, so that's it. Measure from there, right from your shoulder, all the way down to where you want it, how long you want it. It doesn't matter, medium, small, whatever you can get. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. Okay, so if you have your chain now, remember from your shoulders down to your hips, or however how long you want it. Mine turned out to be about 60. So what I'm going to be using for this, I am going to be using Premier Puzzle. It's 100% acrylic, and it's not focusing. Of course it's not. It's a 5 bulky, but I don't think it's a light 5 bulky. And this one is called Dominoes. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. You know how the dogs are. So, and I using my number 7 hook, which is an L. Can you see that? Probably not. It's an L, I promise you. I use 2 different kinds of stitch markers. You can use whatever you want. I use a lot of them. A lot of stitch markers I use. So, again, this is measured to the person you are making it for. Now, I made it 60 chains long. It's going to be probably a large, extra large when I'm making. So I'll make it as long as it hits from shoulder to shoulder. So I will have to show you that again. Yeah, it's very easy to measure. I will show you that after we get done at this part. Like I said, guys, I'm just winging this. This is, you know, all in fun. Okay, so I have my chain. My chain just happens to be about 60. Let's move this up a bit. Okay. So I wrap it around. I do half double crochets, guys. This whole sweater is basically half double crochets and double crochets, but the main parts are only half doubles. And then I count to, I work from the back. I always work from the back from the little humps. So I wrap the yarn and I go into the second one from the hook. So there's the first one. I'm going into this one. It looks easier. Wrap and then go through all of them. Half double crochets all the way across. It's very simple. It's a very simple pattern, guys. I watched a whole bunch of tutorials on how to do sweaters, and then I just picked whatever one I thought, not picked, but I kind of put all of them together and okay, this one's I'm going to do. I'm going to wing it this way. Just for the simple fact that I get bored watching tutorials and I don't want to listen, and you know, I go off on my own little world anyways, so I want to make it the way I want it, and I want it the easiest way and the funnest way. And my favorite stitch is the half double crochet, and since I have to do so many of them, I just thought I might as well just do it that one. Okay guys, all the way across in your back loop, half double crochets, and I will meet you at the end. Okay guys, I got all of it done except for one, and I'm going to show you how I turn the corners. So my last half double crochet, chain one, turn your work, half double crochet in your first stitch, and you just keep going, half double crochet all the way across again. And this will be your repeat row for as long as as wide as you need it. This is your back piece. You work with your back. Well, I do my back piece first. Well, you're going to have to, I guess. Oh, guys, I don't know why I'm doing this. You know who this is for. Happy birthday, by the way. Okay, so half double crochets all the way across, and you're going to keep doing half double crochets until you get it the width you want it. Now, if you're hippie, you go around to the hips and make sure it's good there. I always just do my shoulders. I don't have big girls. I don't have to worry about my front panels will determine that. This piece is best if measured from the side of your shoulders from one end to the other. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you where I mean, just so you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, now the camera's not where it's usually sitting. It's on that arm thing. So when I mean your piece is going to be long ways, right? So it's going to be as wide as you need it to go. I measure from here all the way to here, so both ends, and make sure you're standing kind of tall and you have your both one end hits this side and one end hits this side, and then you need to count how many rows you do eventually so you get the side piece just right. I will be back to show you how I do my side piece. It's basically the same thing, but you have to count. Make sure you get like the middle of you from here to here. You get it? You get it, guys? I don't get it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, guys. So that's it for this one. I will be back to show you when I get this one done. Okay, guys, I'm back. So what I've done here is I've got my whole back piece done. I can't fit it all in the shot. Sorry, guys. And I also did one front panel. So in here I have 2 stitch markers. So this whole thing I did 44 rows, and then I counted and I kind of wanted, so I took my tape measure and I kind of wanted like I want like 3 inches in there, like close to 3 inches, you know, maybe 3.5, 3 inches. So this will be where your part of your collar. So then I had to do one front panel. I chained 60. It's my front panel. And then I wanted to go from one corner to one of the stitch markers. So that's ended up being 19 rows I did. I have to make another one exactly the same. And when I get that done, I will come back and show you how I stitched it together. Okay, guys, I'm back. I didn't get the other one done yet. I just figured I can show you this real quick, if I could fit it on here. Now, I like to put, see, I have to add a collar. So I like to put where I can get stitches in easy instead of this end. See this end? Well, you could get it in easier, but not as easy as you can get them in this end. I just throw that in there. And then I take these, ones because these are the ones I find easier when I put it together to put it on there. Now first I like to, wow, wish I had more room, guy. So from the top, I like to have at 6 inches. And then I put one right there. Make sure I get one right at the corners up here. And then I measure it to get it about 6. You can even go 5.5, 6. Depends how big the top of your arm is. See, each one of these is custom, guys. Like, you make it the way you want to, and so it's easy, and there's not that much. It's just winging it, guys. That's what we do around here, is just winging it. So every few inches I put another one in, all the way down, just so it holds it while I'm sewing it better. Make sure it stays straight. And then at the corners, make sure you get those. And then at the top, I'm going to bring it down. There. So then I get my piece. And I always do long, always, to make sure I absolutely have enough. I take my needle and my threader, because you know, can't thread a needle to save my life. And that's just faster for me, guys. It's just faster. So I'm going to start at the bottom. That's where I'm going to start. Or you know what? Let's start here, because you know how many times I'm actually sewed this piece right here together. Yeah, I've done that. So I try to go right where I put. And then I tie a knot there. And I always make sure I have a long end to sew that in. Now, it really doesn't matter. They look the same on both sides. So it really doesn't matter which side you sew. Well, I've never checked anyways. If you prefer a certain size, you do it that way. And then I just start sewing. And we all know how much I love to sew. And I try to stay close together, just for the simple fact, like, you don't want any gaps where you sew. And guys, I hate sewing, so I just do it as fast as I can. So you're going to sew all the way down to the end here. You're going to leave your gap here for your arm. and you're going to sew across here on both sides. And when that's all done, I will come back and see you. Okay, so now you have it all sewn together. You have all your ends out. That's okay. We'll take care of that later. There's more sewing involved. So now we're going to start on the sleeves. Now, everybody is so... This is what it scares everybody, but this is like the easiest sleeve in the world, I find, anyways. So I turn my sweater right side in because you got to sew it inside out. And I always do it this way. So I get my sleeve. This is the top of the sweater right here. It's the bottom. This will go by the armpit. I get my, leave enough to sew. Yes, a lot of sewing in this. And then where I started, I just, now try to make these as even as possible. That's my only advice, really. Now you put it in the inside of it, and you attach it. One great swoop. Chain one, and then try to make it as even as possible with, we're just doing half double crochets. And you got to count, and you count all the way around and try to make it as even as possible so it doesn't look like you have a big space in between. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So, and then you attach it when you make it all the way around and chain one. I always write down how many on the sleeves because you've got to do the exact same on the other side. So now I attached it, chain one, turn my work. And now also I grab a stitch marker and put it on my first row. because we're going to count by tens. Now, each sleeve will be different because everybody's arms are different. We're not all the same, thank goodness, because it would be a pretty boring world if we were. So, okay. You chain one, turn your work, and then you double crochet in every stitch. And I count by tens, and after every 10th, and I'll come back and show you, after every 10 rows, I decrease by 5. And I'll show you what I mean by that when we come back. So in 10 rows, I will be right back. Okay, I didn't do my 10 rows yet, but I wanted to explain. After I've gone all the way around, I want to connect again and slip stitch, and then single one chain. I turn my work. Every time I start a new row of the sleeve, I turn my work. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. Trying to explain as best I can, guys. I'm doing my best. Okay, I'll be back in the 10th row. Okay, so I've got 10 rows done. So I'm just going to slip stitch it together, chain one. I'm going to add a stitch marker. Turn my work. And then I'm going to count every 5, I'm going to do a decrease. Yarn's all tangled. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the 5th one. So decrease, so my decrease, hold on, like that, put it in, and then into the next one, and then slip stitch all the way through. Okay, so another 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my 5th one, I wrap it, pull it through. So I have 3 on the hook, and then I put it through another one, wrap it, pull it through. So I have 4 altogether. I wrap it and pull it all through 4. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5th one, wrap it, put it through, pull through yarn, put it through another one, pull through yarn, 4 on my hook, wrap it, and pull through all 4. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. I don't know how you do it. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one, you wrap it, go through 2, wrap off, bring through all 4. Didn't explain that one very good, did I, guys? Oh, let's try another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm on the 5th one. Wrap your yarn, put it through, stitch, wrap your yarn, pull it through. Now you have 3. Put it through your next stitch, wrap your yarn, pull it through. You have 4. Wrap your yarn, pull through all 4. And you may not, or you may have enough to do another decrease. I do not. then I slip stitch to join. Chain 1, turn your work. Now I continue with 9 more, and then I decrease again. Every 10th row I decrease until I find it's long enough. I will come back when I need about 2 inches for the cuff, so you want your cuff about 2 inches. So when I get close to that, yeah, so this sweater has a little bit more than 2 inches. So when you get close to that, you stop, and I do 2 decreases, and I'll come back and show you, and then I'll show you how I do my cuff. You can make this as long as or short as you want, and you just keep going with every 10 I put a decrease, and I always put stitch markers in just so I know where I start and where's another row, so I don't have to worry about counting all of them again. I like to make things easy, and I'm lazy. So that's how I do mine. Okay, I'm going to pause it and come back when I am ready to do the cuff. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm just finishing my last 10. Now this doesn't have to be done in 10s. I just think for the person I'm doing it for, it will be long enough. So I end up getting 10, 20, 30. So the last before, so you could do 32, 35, whatever. Now usually with the last row that I do, right before I do a cuff, I do 2 decreases, 2 row decreases, but I'm only going to do 1, and then I'm going to just start right on to the cuff. So I'm going to do my last row of decreases right now. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and then the 5th one. See, I told you this was so easy, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that would be my last one. Now usually I do 2, but I think that hole is small enough. Okay, so then I slip stitch to join, chain 1. Oh no, I want to chain 2. Turn my work. Now I'm going to do double crochets all the way around. Now this is the starting of the cuff. Hope you can see it. Oh, geez. Camera angles, right, guys? I want you guys to be able to see the next row is the important one. So you do double crochets all the way around. This pattern, well, I just made it up. It's the easiest thing. And this is one of the first, well, this is the second sweater I did because it was the striped, and I don't like horizontal stripes. I like vertical stripes. It's my favorite stitch all the way around. So, and it takes me about 3 days to make one of these without doing a tutorial, that is. Doing a tutorial takes a little longer. Okay, so I made it all the way around. I just slip stitch on the top to join, maybe right there. A chain 2, a turn. Now we're going to do front post, back post all the way around. The first row I find a little, that's the one you really have to watch. This, and after that, it's easy peasy. I will show you. You know what, guys? Look at that. I have to frog a little bit because I missed a stitch. See, we frog around here. We're just winging it. I have my mouse in there. Such a professional, ain't I? Okay. I think I got all the stitches. Chain 2, turn my work. So this is the row that it's the one you really have to watch. It's front post, back post, and you have to do them alternate. I always start with, like, you can start with whatever one you want. I start with the front post first. So front post is when you go through the front, come through the back, and it's double crochets. Okay, so back post is when you come through the back and down out the front. I'll keep showing you a couple more times. Took me a while to get this stitch, guys. So through the front for the front post, and you come back that way, wrap, and do your double crochet. Back post, you wrap, go through the back, and then the front, bring a stitch around. Well, gotta make it a double crochet first. Wrap the yarn first, then come around. Go through the back. Wrap it. We're doing a front post, through the front, around, grab your yarn, come around. No. Grab your yarn and come around. My goodness. See what I mean, guys? Okay, go to the front, the back, wrap your yarn, bring it through. Double crochet. We're just going to pretend that never happened. And I'm not good at editing, so you're going to get it all. So the back post, you go through the back, out the front, pull it through, and then the front post. Back post, front post, back post, front post. And you're going to do that all the way around. I'm just going to stick with you doing it because, and then we'll start the new one. You do this after you get through this first round. It's so much easier because you know exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to keep track. Because you can see it. Back post, and then I get in my top second stitch, slip stitch to join, chain 2, turn. No, do you see that? That's all wrong. I don't know how I did all that. See what I mean? I wasn't paying attention. Always check your work. And I'm not editing. So front post, back post, we're not professional around here, that's for sure. Slip stitch to join, chain 2, turn your work. So now you see that, now you know exactly which one's your front post and which one's your back post. So when you start, and you're going to look at it this way, inside, that's a front post. That's a back post. You can just tell. There's the front. The front post sticks out more, and the back posts are in. See, that's the back post. That's a front post. You can see that. Okay, I'm going to pause it. I want you to go around 4 times, all in total. So we've been around twice. This is our 3rd time, and you can count them by grabbing like 1, 2, 3. So this one and then another row, and we'll see where we are then. Okay, so I've been around all the way around 4 times. I'm going to slip stitch to join, chain 1. I think that's perfect for a cuff. I'm not going to make it any bigger, so I'll grab my scissors. Just pull that through. And there's your cuff. That's it to do the sleeves, guys. Easy peasy. Now you do the other sleeve the exact same. Now, before I go on to my sleeve, I'm going to show you how I do my bottom trim. It's the front post, back post. It's so easy. It's the same thing. The worst part is putting the first row on. For the simple fact that you got to fiddle with the stitches. Okay, now I'm going to start working on the inside. So this is the outside. This is the part everybody sees. I'm going to work on the inside. And I'm going to find a spot to put my yarn in. Slip stitch to join it all. Chain 2. And just double crochet as evenly as possible. Hope you've seen that. Okay. So I have it on the corner. I chained 2 and I'm going to double crochet as evenly as possible as I can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Remember, we're just winging it around here. Just get my yarn right and just find a good spot to stick it in. try to get it as evenly as possible. I know it's not going to be perfect, guys, but remember, each stitch is made with love. Well, my work is anyways. I don't know what you do. And we're not, I'm not considered as professional. See, that stitch, is it going to work for me? I have to take a little look. I think I'm going to go, yes, it's going to work. If it's any bigger than that, I would take it out and redo it. You got to go with what you can live with. If I miss a stitch, it depends where it is and depends if I can live with it or not, whether I frog it. And I frog all the time, guys, because sometimes I find myself too picky. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to this, and I will meet you back on when I hit the other side. And there we go. See, just get it as evenly as possible. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, guys, I'm back. Now, it's not perfect, but neither am I. You know? So, when you get to the end, I'm at my end, I chain 2, turn my work, and I do front post, back post. Same as the sleeve. All the way around across. And I do this 5 times. 5 rows of this. Okay. Now that you know how to do the bottom trim, I'll meet you when it's time to do the inside trim. Okay, so I have all my trim done on the bottom. I did 5 rows, and I count them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do include, when I say 5 rows, I do include the foundation row to start. So the first double crochet. Okay, so we just have the inside trim left to do. Oh, guys, it's exciting. Almost done. Okay, where are we? Now, when we do the inside trim, I always start the inside trim on like the trim, any of the trim on the inside of the double crochet all the way around I do it on the inside of the sweater. Now, it's the same as the cuff, like the same as this trim on the bottom of the sweater, and the same as the sleeve of the trim of the sleeve. That's what we're doing all the way around, from the bottom of the sweater, and then that's why we do the bottom trim first. It just looks better. I did it the other way the first time, and it didn't look as good. Adjust this camera just a little bit. So we start here, and we go all the way around your neckline, all the way around to the other side. And we can start it together, and then you finish it off. And that's it. That's the sweater, guys. It's very exciting, isn't it? Almost done. Now, getting in this part, you got to, this part will be easy because I made it, I mean, so you just keep going into your stitches because that's where you stopped. And the top is a little iffy, like around where you have your collar. But this is a little iffy. I gotta turn it around, guys. Now, you do five rows of the, starting with your foundation of double crochets. You got to make sure you get right in the corner. I chain 2 and then just start my double crochets. Yeah, so I go around 5 times. It's the same as the bottom. And just put it where it's gonna, I mean, we're not perfect around here. And if anybody looks that close, I don't know what to tell you. I guess it looks, and you play with it the way you like it the best. Each time I do it, my sweaters are not the same. None of them are exactly the same. And I always sew my ends in at the last of the sweaters anyways. And that looks pretty good. Nice and even. And then this will be easier. Okay guys, so it's the same as the bottom. Double crochet all the way around. And then front post, back post. All the way around. Now, I don't know how many times I'd tell you how many times I missed I did a front post, back post and didn't realize, or did two front posts instead of one post. You know, I screwed up. I don't know how many times I tell you that I've done it, probably on every sweater, and nobody has noticed because it was all the way, I didn't notice until I got to the second row. So, I mean, if it bothers you that much, absolutely, keep frogging. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Now, this one is, and each time I say, I'm going to do the best I can. That's all you can ask from yourself. Don't ever get upset over crochet. It's crochet. You can fix it. You can, a couple times there was too much up here. There was a little hole in it. And you guys are the ones who told me when I did my daughter's my first real sweater with sleeves. You're the guy, you guys are the ones who told me, just get, your crochet out, like your yarn out, and fix it. It's easy to fix. Put a stitch in there. All good. So, I mean, you never get excited or upset over crochet. And you can bend the rules on crochet. If you don't feel like this stitch is going to work here, put it over there. It's just crochet. Okay, guys, I will see you when you have your sweater, when I have my sweater all done. Okay, guys, we have one more thing to do, and that's the pockets. If you want pockets. If you don't, that's fine too. So, my pockets are just basically rectangles. And I just crochet, so it's basically half double crochets on them, and you need 2 or 1, or you can do an inside pocket, outside pockets, it doesn't matter, but they have to be, if you're going to do 2, I would highly recommend you do the same. So every pocket's different that I make, so I'm going to just chain 20, so there's 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now then I look at it. And I kind of look at the sweater and I think that'll work. Maybe a couple more. So I think I'll do 22. So that'll be the size of the pocket, which is good. That's good. So and it's half double crochets. So I wrap and then I go in from the second from the hook. And I make it as big as you want. It's like I said, this whole thing is custom. So whatever you feel that you like. So I half double crochet in the back loop. Again, I always do the back loop. I think it's neater at the bottom. Makes it look neater. So I half double crochet all the way to the end. So I really appreciate you joining me for this first real tutorial. I think, well, I guess the scrubby was the real one. If you have any questions about this, because I know I don't use my words well and I don't explain things very well, just email me, guys. I have no problems answering your questions anytime. And if I need to, we need to Facebook call, so if you don't understand my because if I don't explain it well, I will be more than happy to FaceTime you on Facebook. And then I can probably explain it well in person. Can't draw you a picture because I can't draw, but So I hope you understand what I was saying through this. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. You can use any 4-weight yarn. The thinner 4-weight yarn, or no, the thicker 4-weight yarn or the thin 5-weight yarn is perfect. Absolutely perfect for this pattern, for this sweater. If you go thicker, it just makes it big and bulkier, which my niece loves. So, I really love this pattern. I really love this sweater. I wear mine all the time. I want to make myself another one when I get time. And my mom's been bugging for one. So, I have to make her one. Every time I go out yarn shopping, I always think of her and what yarn she would like. Okay, so all the way across, you chain one, turn your work, and double crochets all the way across again. Okay, guys. Now you can make this as long as you want. I will be back to show you how I sew them on, and I mean it's pretty easy. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. I don't want to make this video too long, but it's probably be about an hour long. We'll see. Okay, guys. I'll see you when I'm done. And make 2. Goodbye. Okay, guys. So I got the pockets somewhat where I want them. Now you have to try and get them the same. It's not going to be perfect because, how we're doing it around here. Winging it. Now I changed my pockets a little bit. I put a little bit of the cuff on top of the pocket. I thought that was cute. You don't have to do that. you know how to do that, so I didn't bother stopping and showing you. So we're trying, I try to stay, you know, somewhat. Let's try and see all of the cuff. It looks good. I kind of put them on and then put my little pin on the top to kind of hold them to somewhat where my hand would be comfortable to go into it. And then I take my stitch markers like I said, you need a lot of stitch markers. You may not, I do. Okay, and then I just pin all the corners on there. Get it somewhat even. And then you do this one. And then at the end, make sure you get all your tails sewn in. And they're everywhere, guys, I know. You can do them as you go. You can do them whenever you want. I just leave it to the end to do all my tails. There. Okay, so then you take a piece of yarn. Gotta have my threader, otherwise it'll never be sewn in. And just sew them in as best as you can. I'm going to take these big ones out. Okay, and just sew them in as best as you can. You know, the same way as you all know how to sew. Whether you enjoy it or not are two different things. Okay, guys, at the end, I will just show a picture of my finished project. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you have a good day. Bye.